Hello everybody, Mr. Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XI Online. In the last episode, we worked on our Artifact Armor quests, the Artifact 2, to get the pants, and the Borghertz's Hands quest to get the gauntlets. And that also opens up the option to get the remaining, or 2 more pieces from other coffers, which off screen I went ahead and did, so I now have the boots and the body piece. So that just leaves the head that we need to get, and that's another separate quest, so that's what we're going to be working on today, to go grab the head. It's a quest called Night Stalker. And then if we get that one done relatively quickly, then we'll move on to the next Windurst mission, the 5-1 mission. So we'll see how far we get. But let's go ahead and get right into it. And so to do the Night Stalker quest, we need to head to Sandoria and go to the chateau. So that's a northern Sandoria, home point 2. Oh, the other thing I also did off screen is I went ahead and took care of the Limit Break 4 quest. That one's really simple, no real story or anything like that in there. Basically, Matt just gives you 4 clues. You have to figure out what 4 NPCs that he's referring to, and then you trade those 4 NPCs a Kindred Seal, which is a an item that you get from EXP bearing mobs at this level. So really simple, straightforward, no real cutscenes or story or anything. So I just went ahead and took care of it. All right, so in the chateau, we need to come over here. We need to talk to Rahal, who was involved in the actually original Dragoon Unlock quest. So let's have a chat. Oh, it's you. How goes it with your Wyvern? We are steadfast companions. Excellent. I never doubted your success. On a more serious note, the Royal Knights have recently become the target of a number of attacks by an unknown assailant. It is humiliating for the defenders of the kingdom to be in this position in the first place, but the situation is more grave than a simple loss of face. There is a rumor circulating among the knights that these attacks are being carried out by Erpalacian, the last dragoon. It has the men unnerved. Close enough. As I am sure you are aware, Erpalacian was the general of the knights during the rule of King Ranper, and the only dragoon in existence at the time. Erpalacian has joined the ranks of the fallen, so there is no possible way he could be responsible for these attacks. The fears of the knights have some validity. There is a tale told of Erpalacian. Immediately after King Ranper had quelled the strife within the kingdom, Erpalacian was sent by the king's orders on an expedition to the Outlands. It is widely said that this expedition served no strategic significance, and that King Ranper merely feared the power of Erpalacian. He was never heard from again. King Ranper apparently nodded in satisfaction when hearing the report from the returning soldiers. I do not believe this story. Even if there were some truth in the tale, there is unlikely to be a reappearance of the last dragoon. However, I have no evidence to support my views. I have a task for you. I wish you to gather information on the true culprit behind these attacks. Considering your profession, surely you wish to dispel these rumors that sully the honor of your fellow dragoon. Leave it to me. What's going on there? Empty suits of armor. Sir Rahal. There's another one. And they're just kind of sliding along the floor. What are you cowering for? These are nothing more than shambling or stumbling puppets. Sir Rahal, it must be the ghost of the last dragoon come to wreak his vengeance. Mind your tongue. Aramavion? You stand on castle grounds. Yes, sir. My apologies. These empty shells will not rise again. Clear them away, and not a word of anyone, not a word to anyone of this. Yes, sir. We must get to the bottom of this matter. Have you noticed anything strange these past few days? Someone tried to steal the braze of the last dragoon. Well, that certainly qualifies. Start your investigation from there. You might try asking for information from the people at the Bruguière Consortium. Ah, good old Bruguière. Oh, hold on. Had the wrong person selected. Alright, so. Let's head out, and we need to head to Port Sandoria. Sandoria, Port Sandoria. We want to head to home point 1. All right. Cargo room A. And our buddies in there. The Raulian. The boss has a question for you. Wait a moment. There's something I forgot to ask. Who the hell was the rogue that stole my father's inheritance? What? You can't tell me the name? And there's someone who's pulling this thief's strings? Things just got interesting. I really like to catch whoever it is and break a few of their teeth. This guy must be after the relics of the last dragoon. If we can find the armor before him, maybe we can use it to lure him out into the open. If you say you can't tell me the name of the thief, I'm sure you got your reasons. But I'm not interested in sparring with a small fry in any case. Instead, there's something I want you to procure for me. I want you to find the helm of the last dragoon, hidden somewhere within the Kuftal tunnel. I've wanted to get my hands on it for some time now, and an adventurer like yourself is perfect for the job. Well, don't just stand there. Alright. Kuftal tunnel. So we need to head out there. I'm pretty sure I have the survival guide. Because I had to head out there to get the coffer key for Kuftal Tunnel, which I have right there. No. We don't want to set this as a home point. We want to travel to another home point. We're in current region. Northern Sandoria home point 2. No, 1. Oh, that's not a survival guide. Where is it? There it is. Teleportation assistance. We want to head to Kuzats. Huh. I guess we don't. Well, Rabal would then be the closest. And if we're heading to Rabal, I think it's cheaper to go by home point. Yeah. Fire weather. We'll rent a chocobo. Even though I have my own mount. I just like to ride the chocobos. Should probably think about breeding my own. That's an idea. Maybe I've talked about that already. I can't remember. Alright, well, I'm going to head on over to Kufdal Tunnel, which is right there at the top. And I will be back when we are there. Alright, we're almost there. I can't remember if I've been here in an episode yet. Or if only I've been in here on my own. Alright. Well, this is a fairly dangerous area. And so, full trust entourage. All right, full trust entourage. All right. Let me see what we're gonna do here. All right. Got some of my location markers. Now, I know we're going to need sneak. At the very least. I don't think we're gonna need invisible for a little bit. My hope is that we get really lucky with the coffer location again. Now, I think that the coffer could be down here. It doesn't spawn up there. There's another spawn location over here. I don't see it. Let me head back up the hill. Now, the other concern is that there is a notorious monster, Givre, that does patrol through this tunnel, and it's, I don't even remember what level it is. I do seem to remember that it is True Sight. So invisible doesn't work on it. I don't think there's anything in here where I'm going to need invisible, though. Just sneak. Now, the problem is that when I open the coffer, it drops sneak. So, when we open it, we're probably going to have to fight. Nope, don't see it here. I'm also looking on my mini-map here for green dots, because green dots might indicate that a coffer position. And bingo, there it is. I just gotta get up there. There we are. Oh no, can't get up there from here. And actually, this is in a pretty decent spot. Very lucky. Key. I should have my key macro set. I have the challenge to the Royal Knights. Alright. Get out of here. So it was not the helmet they were looking for, but rather this challenge. Actually, is it listed in key items? Is it a temporary key item? Challenge to the Royal Knights. A letter addressed to the Royal Knights. The helm of the last dragoon is already in my possession. I will lay bare the inadequacies of the Royal Knights' current leadership and their inability to defend Sandoria. Very well. Well, let's head back to Sandoria and the chateau. And we need to go talk to Rahal again. A challenge the Royal Knights? This handwriting. That's what this is all about. You must talk with Sir Balassail on this matter. I cannot speak of it. Rather, I do not wish to speak of it. Alright. Now I need to talk to Vana'diel. And Vana'diel is located in southern Sandoria. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get the cutscene for this mission first, because there are a few quests that NPC is related to. Like one of them is the unlock quest for Paladin. Oh yeah, that's actually a quest you gotta do first before you can do the unlock quest for Paladin. So it might give us the flag for that initial quest. I have the item for it if I need to. I don't usually come in from this direction, so I'm hoping that I can figure out where I'm supposed to be going. Indeed. Let's talk to him. Rahal has a letter for me to read, does he? Too busy to come himself, Well, let's see it. Ah, this is the handwriting of Ankulain B. Fular? Ankulain B. Fular, former second in command of the Royal Knights. That's a name. I was the one who relieved him of his command. Why are you doing this to me? Surely you must know the many victories I have achieved for the glory of Sandoria. Yes, I'm aware of them. Then why? There is a quality that your blade lacks, and that quality is sorrow. Rahal understands the sorrow in taking up his sword. Sorrow? We are not composers of verse. What use is sorrow to a warrior? And therein lies your arrogance. There have been many instances of you ignoring the orders of your general and leading the knights on a path of your own choosing. And haven't I always brought us to victory in doing so? At the cost of the lives of many of our men. It is an oversight too dangerous for a commander of our forces to make. What? Oh, I understand. You're saying that Sandoria has no further use for me. You missed my point. Once you have given consideration to my words, we can think about reinstating you to your position. No, I believe I will take my leave of the knights. I will find a place where I am appreciated for who I am. May you not regret your words here today, Sir Vana'diel. So, Ankulain has issued a challenge to the Royal Knights, has he? Seems my words had no effect upon him. A pity. You have a wyvern that responds to your call? Your wyvern will be able to sense Ankulain's location from the shadow of the thoughts that still cling to the letter. That is all the help I can give you. Alright. Alright, we need to go back and we need to speak to Rahal again. This way? This way. Ah, yes, good. Okay. There's a bit of a maze in there. And Rahal should give us a clue as to where we're supposed to go next. Alright. Come on, select the door. There we go. Ankulain was a powerful warrior, but he lacked self-control. I bode my time until his return to the ranks. I think as I bide my time. But I never did imagine things would come to this. So you learned from Sir Vana'diel that your wyvern can sense Ankulain's location? Based on the shadow of the thoughts that still cling to the letter, I only hope that he hasn't dabbled in any of the black arts that are practiced by those savages of the South. Okay then. That's the only clue we get as to where we're supposed to go next. Fortunately, I know where we're supposed to go next. Where we are going next is the Temple of Ugalepi in Yoder Jungle in El Shimo. So, we need to get there. And the fastest way to get there is Unity Warp. So, I'm going to Unity Warp myself to Yoder Jungle. And then we head to the temple. I'll be back when we're on the way. Alright. We are here in Yoder Jungle at the point you get warped to when you Unity Warp the jungle. Let's mount up. And what we're doing is we're heading south to the Temple Ugalepi. Right, the only entrance, even though there's like 2 markers there, well, there's actually 3 markers. The only way into here from here is entrance 1. And I don't know, have I been to the outpost here? I don't know. I mean, it's close enough to the Unity Warp that it's probably not really all that necessary to grab it, but we're going to go ahead and grab it. Just to have another option. I mean, it is slightly closer. Alright. Go. Alright. So. A bit of a ride to get there. You know, there's some interesting ruins and stuff, but, you know. I'll be back when we're in the vicinity. Alright, we're approaching the temple. Now in here, we are going to need sneak in and viz, I think. Let's get the trust out. I'm going to try and avoid using it for as long as I can, just to conserve resources. And I also need to make sure that I have my Wyvern out. Alright. Wisps. Level 52, easy prey. Yep, they will aggro. Alright. Then we go sneaked and invis the entire way. Just for convenience sake, because I'm having to fight through everything in here. Alright. Sneak. Now, we are heading south to F11 on this map. Alright, now we need to go through this door, and we need to drop invisible to do so. And then we need to clear the room. Alright. Get to work. Now, I am probably going to have to clear the entire room. Because Vana'diel likes to use AoE weapon skills. And even though those rumble crawlers over there won't actually aggro us, he is almost certainly going to get them involved in any fight that we do. So... see, that's what he likes to do. Ooh, I hit that thing for 1100 damage. Come on, out of the way, non-amigo. Alright. You know what? I think I'll... Oh, there's a branding iron? What is that? Okay. That's gotta go. I have no memory of this, this thing here. Fortunately, this thing's not too tough. Alright, let's get rid of the rumble crawlers. Somebody did a skill chain there. All right. So we should be clear, and there should be a question mark point in here somewhere. Is that the one? Should be on the floor. There we are. There's the one. The Wyvern reacts violently to the spot. Alright, get to work. Alright, jump. These are a couple of undead enemies. Ah, nice. We did a skill chain. One of the reasons why I like Vana'diel, because he does Dancing Edge, and I can chain that with my Pentathrusts. One down. Next. Oh, come on, stay still. I'm actually going to hold off on using my weapon skill. I'm going to wait for Vana'diel to go. Oh, you use something else. Oh well, let's see if it chains. No, it does not. Oh, you used perfect dodge. Lovely. Did my Pentathrust get dodged? No, I did 716 damage on my Pentathrust. Okay, looks like its perfect dodge wore off. We're starting to land hits again. Alright. And then touch the point again. Alright. Encalane. It seems my trap was of little consequence after all. Not altogether unexpected. You're wearing Dark Knight armor. However, I am skilled in more than just swordplay. I have also conquered the arts of necromancy. With the helm of the last dragoon, I will resurrect the spirit of Palacian. He was betrayed by his home of Sandoria, as was I. He will understand my need for revenge. Okay then. I never dreamed the day would come when your kind would once again fly free in Vana'diel. He's talking to my wyvern. Tuna, I am most grateful to you. What are you waiting for, Dragoon? As I was dismissed from my position of command, you were exiled from Sandoria by King Rampare. And that was our chance to exact our vengeance upon the kingdom that betrayed us. Let this adventurer be the first to be sentenced in our trial of blood. I have nothing but gratitude towards Sandoria. Why would I sympathize with the plight of a spiteful child? This is not the way it's supposed to be. Encalane B. Fular, I hereby arrest you on charges of theft and violence against the court of Sandoria. This is Rahal showing up. Okay, that was advancing on its own. No. I waited for you, Anklein, believing that you would come to your senses and recognize your mistakes. Your position as second command has been held vacant for your return. It's a shame things had to turn out like this, but you'll have time to reflect upon your sins in jail. That armor, it can't be. The last dragoon. I am Earl Palacian, and you must be the Dragon Slayer. If you are truly the last dragoon, then there is something that I must ask you. Why did the wise King Rampir give you such an unreasonable order? There is an explanation for that. It was the night of our triumphant homecoming. Palacian, it is all finally over. I'm afraid not, Your Majesty. This is only the beginning. You must turn your efforts towards rebuilding this war-ravaged country. Yes, you are right. And you will be there to help us, I trust. Without your strength, the insurrection would have been a difficult thing to put down. About that, Your Majesty. What is it, Earl Palacian? Surely you're not considering retirement. At your tender years, there are still many endeavors that will require your abilities. I must apologize, but I can no longer remain here in Sandoria. Forgive me, Your Majesty. What is this you speak of? Tell me why this must be. During the course of this insurgence, an unholy sign has appeared upon my wyvern. In the heat of battle, we slew those that have no sins to answer for. This is our punishment. Great goddess. Even as a dragon slayer, I failed to notice the sign. Forgive me, Palacian. I believe that dragons teach us the folly of our ways. To restore the holy sign, I must go where no people dwell and spend the rest of my life in quiet solitude. I see. Well, I have no right to prevent you from leaving. If there's anything I can do, you must let me know. Your Majesty, I must ask that you assist me in convincing others that I had perished in battle. What are you saying, Palacian? If it is known that I still live, I will be hounded incessantly by foreign assassins, or those who hunger for a return to the days of war. The only way I can cast aside my blood-stained lance is to be dead in the eyes of the world. That being said, you must know that I can never meet with Your Majesty again. I go to such extremes that I must lose the one person who understands me so well. However, I must not keep you here for my sake. You have your own road to travel. I will send you on an expedition. Use the opportunity to disappear from this land. I have no doubt that every citizen in this kingdom will be present for your state funeral. My liege, you have my deepest gratitude. Tonight marks our final farewell. At the very least, we should empty a few glasses and talk until the dawn. What say you? As you wish, Your Majesty. And so, following the king's plan, I retired with my wyvern to the mountains. Thankfully, the unholy mark that blighted my wyvern faded, but by that time I was too old to leave those snow-capped peaks. So I decided to spend my remaining days raising a new wyvern. I left this life with my dreams still unrealized, but now I see that there were others who carried out my final wish. You have given new life to the race of dragons. Now is the time for me to return to my eternal slumber. Allow me a moment with this wyvern child. Grow strong, little one. The life that pulses within you is not yours alone. You hold the spark of all the wyverns that were denied life in this world. And he faded out. The last dragoon. He was a man worthy of the title. You have performed your duty well. We will escort Ankalain back to Sandoria and quash these rumors that dishonor the last dragoon. You have the gratitude of the Royal Knights. As Erpalacian stated, you and your Revern have an important duty to fulfill. Keep that in mind and take good care of your winged companion until we meet again. And I now have the Draken Armet. Excellent. We can go ahead and... Actually, first thing I want to do is... send it to my wardrobe, out of my inventory. There we go. The Draken Armet. Now I finally look like a proper dragoon. Alright, and we can get out of here now. Mission complete. Alright, so with that now complete, we can move on to mission 5-1. And, as usual, we need to head to Heaven's Tower. Windurst Walls. And we need to head up to the top to the Star Sibyl's Vestal Chamber to see what's going on, because last we heard that the leaders of the three nations have been attacked by the beastmen trying to resurrect the Shadow Lord. So, I'll be back once I'm up there. Alright, we're in Heaven's Tower and climbing the last flight of steps. Alright, let's see what's going on. There's a Star Sibyl and Semilafina. Ah, Tuna, I have waited your return. While you were stationed in Juno, a great tragedy befell us here in Windurst. Please, explain the details, Semilafina. As you wish. I am sure you have heard the stories of Windurst sealing Castle's Wall with a talisman nearly 20 years ago. This talisman was placed in the central tower of the Horatoda ruins and sealed with a powerful barrier. However, on the night of the last full moon, this barrier was broken and the talisman stolen. To think that the Yagudo now have the power to nullify such magic. Now, Semilafina, we are not certain if the bandits were the Yagudo. I was also visited by a bearer of darkness. My apologies. Tuna, to protect it from theft, the talisman used to seal Castle's Wall was divided into 3 pieces and distributed to each of the 3 ruling nations of Vana'diel. Checking up on Sandoria and Bastak's talismans will be your mission. For you, we have another task. Oh, will be our mission. For you, we have another task. Let me take it from here. It's Rukususu. Oh, you speak in French? Je m'appelle. I am Rukususu. I am the minister of the Rhinostery. I am not going to affect a thick French accent. At the northeastern tip of the cursed Bosidine Glacier, there are the ruins of a lost city named Feyin. Long ago, when Long ago in Vana'diel, there existed a civilization as advanced as ours. I believe that these ruins are from that civilization. Zillart. This is what they called themselves. We have discovered similar ruins on the western continent of Terrigan. When you think of how long ago this city was built, it is a miracle that they are even standing. It is as if they are being protected by some mysterious force. I have to try really hard to translate this into proper words. 30 years ago, a group of representatives from the 3 countries of Windurst, Bastok, and Sandoria was sent to Fayin to investigate the strange power that lies dormant beneath the ruins. However, the ruins were squirming with ghosts and strange machines. The expedition was a failure. But after the Great War, the forces from the 3 countries succeeded in ridding the place of all its unwanted inhabitants. The area located deep within Fayin was then chosen as a location for a 4th seal to strengthen the barrier placed on the Northlands from the inside. Tuna, I wish you to travel to the Fayin ruins. See if the 4th seal that the minister speaks of is still intact. Very well. If you find anything disturbing, use this new seal in place of the old. The rumors of the revival of the Shadow Lord trouble me. However, if the barrier sealing the Northlands was to break, and the Nether Beasts were allowed to roam the peaceful lands of Vana'diel once more, Yuna, may the stars guide you on this perilous journey. I mean, it's probably going to be not be that perilous. Though, Fayin is quite a dangerous area. So, I think we're going to go ahead and run this episode long, because I really want to get 5-1 done. And this really shouldn't take too terribly long. Alright, so we need to head to Bocine Glacier. And then get to Fayin. And I think that the fastest way to get to Bocine Glacier is probably going to be Unity Warp. As usual. Alright, so give me a minute. Alright. I'm pretty sure there's a Unity Warp there. Travel to Wanted Encounter Area 125? Bocine Glacier, indeed there is. Now the question is, where is it going to put me? Okay. Well, that's a fairly convenient spot, actually. Bocine Glacier is quite annoying to try to navigate on foot because there's these various terraced levels. They are only accessible by these narrow ramps, and those ramps are, of course, not aligned in any kind of convenient way to make getting around the area quick or easy. Unfortunately, the Unity Warp puts us at the lowest terrace. So getting to Fayin, which is up to the north there, not going to be that hard. But it's still going to be a bit of a ride. And this is just more kind of frozen wasteland. So I'll be back. Alright, we are approaching Fayin, and it's another one of these structures. This one looks fairly similar to Delkfut's tower, but it's not a tower. And there's broken chunks of it all over the place. That is of note. Oh, it's Lion and Zeed. "30 years ago, the three nations, Windurst, Bastok, and Sandorias, sent an expedition to investigate this cursed land. The Galka swordsman Raulgrim, the Hume monk Cornelia, and the Hume warrior Ulrich, the Elvon knight Frankmage, and the Taru white mage Irukiru, and the Mithra ranger Rabenta were the members of the expedition." Yes, we had kind of visions of them. "All of them were great heroes of their people, but they had to cut the expedition short when an accident claimed two of their group. Raulgrim and Cornelia were the ones that died in the accident. Quote-unquote accident. The others are said to have suffered violent deaths themselves after their return. Perhaps they had awakened the curse that was said to be buried in this land, that they may have called forth the ancient bane. The ancient bane, the shadow of darkness, an image of the Shadow Lord, told us that our kinds were the ones that had awakened him. That he would spread the bane that will destroy Vana'diel from our cowardice, rage, envy, arrogance, and apathy." His image? I see. "The great bane will devour the fair land of Vana'diel. The ancient seal will be broken, awakening nightmares of ages past. The blood of innocence will soak the earth, and the world will fall into fear and despair. But as one bright star shines through the clouds at night, and as one song rings clear above the roar of the beasts, we hold to one hope in these darkest of times. That they will come with the wisdom of ages and the strength of thousands to deliver us from our plight. We await the awakening of the warriors of the crystal." It's an old song. It's called The Warriors of the Crystal, isn't it? Just an old wives' tale. I did not know why I mentioned it. I must go. I did not expect to find much, but something troubles me. Alright. Now, I realized when or found out while I was writing out here, that there's actually a Unity warp directly into Fayin, so we could have just come directly here. We are heading for Kubia Arena. That is where we need to go. And we are going to need to be sneaked and invised. I probably don't need invisible, but sneak definitely. I don't think there's true sight stuff in here, but I could be wrong. I know there's stuff in here that are level 80 plus, or even 90 plus. That will kill me if they sneeze in my direction, so I need to be careful. Shadows, undead, Fomors. Those are level 46. I could probably even solo them. Once we start kind of getting into these circular rooms is where things get nasty. If I recall correctly. Wekufe. That's a level 97 mob right there. And there's a bunch of them. unfortunately, we can just sneak right past them. No, we have 2 drones. These are too weak. They're not going to bother me. Drop invisible. I probably didn't need anyway. Open the door, and there's a home point. Right here. Very convenient. Okay. And then we enter the arena. And then we have the portal here. The burning circle. Alright. Let's head in. The rank 5 mission. Let's go. There we go. Archlich Taberquoen. Let's get the team out. I'm gonna go ahead and get my NPC out. Or not. I can't call my trust or my Alright, there we are. Engage. The only one we need to kill is the Archlich. And at this point, I'm over level 60. I should be able to deal with this. Alright, well, somebody did some AoEs and killed all those ads. There's another one. Alright, come on. There we go. And it's down. You fight well, but you should learn to pace yourself. Battles are won by those who can still swing their swords at the end of the day. It's Zed. I'm curious. What are you doing here? The beastmen have been acting strangely. Were you asked to spy on them? The Seal of the Northlands? Ah, that thing those Taru did at the end of the Great War. I've seen no signs of it. It must have already been broken. I wish I could see the look on your superiors' faces when they find out. You say you brought another seal? You should not have bothered, as they are useless. Who am I? I'm just a wandering knight. I do not care what the beastmen do, nor should you. The Shadow Lord was killed 20 years ago, and that is a fact. These rumors of him returning are just plain nonsense. But Castle's Wall is also called the Crossroad of Fates, and yet it cannot be. Alright, we obtained the burnt seal. Now we need to report back to the Star Sibyl. Alright, so I'll go ahead and get myself to Heaven's Tower, and I'll be back. Alright, we're almost to the top. And let's see how the Star Sibyl is doing. I'm delighted at the news of your safe return. What did you find in Fei Yin? Was the seal... It's gone. I see, so the seal is no more. I've undertaken the... Oh. That's a Records of Eminence message. If the beastmen were to lead a force of nether beasts into Windurst, we would be thrust back 20 years. Your Holiness, we must stop the revival of the Shadow Lord at all costs. We cannot let history repeat itself. I feel the same way, Semilafina. Let us call forth the 5 ministers of Windurst. We need to work together in this time of despair. You'll be summoned when your next mission has been decided. Go and prepare for your journey. The light of the great white star will guide you here when it is time. Alright. Windurst mission rank 5-1 is complete. So, I need to do 5-2 next, almost certainly. Yep, there's only 2 missions, so yeah, 5-2 will get us rank 6. So, we'll go ahead and stop here. I'm going to go do some work off screen. Get some levels. And do some more prep work for the next mission, I think. But for now, we will stop here. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.